PAX Australia 2023 this year and had a chance to check out some of the Australian Indie Showcase winners. Pixel-loving retro pals unite and prepare for The Drifter. The Drifter is a schlocky horror noir point-and-click adventure game that is a fresh take on the retro-style adventure games that we know and love. A drifter, murdered, yes, murdered, finds himself alive again seconds before his death. Struggling to maintain his sanity, can he unravel the conspiracy surrounding his condition and those hunting him? The Drifter is a fast-paced take on the point-and-click adventure game that blasts us down a rich path of story and intrigue. And the pixel art in this game is pretty amazing. I spoke with Barney and Alex from Powerhoof about The Drifter. Tell us about your game.
So this is The Drifter. This is, I think, our third game from Powerhoof. And this is basically like an adventure game with all the slow plotting stuff torn out. And so it's like trying to be paced more like a Michael Crichton kind of schlocky horror novel that's like always giving you a little carrot dangling to like, what's happening with the next thing, and not really having that like slowly walking to the other room and like, well, what items can I use on this? Just a bit more like, you've got a gun, you've got a rope, you're drowning, what do you do? And then onto the next situation.
So do you reckon that's how you've kind of combated the next generation of kind of the point-and-click era? Is bringing it in with those exciting moments rather than the slow plodding along, working stuff out?
We're old and we don't have as much spare time. And we're like, I love those older games, but I couldn't fit them in anymore, you know? We're like, I want to play a game, I want to play it start to finish in a reasonable amount of time. It's a bit like the sort of Drake's Fortune like philosophy of just blast you down a story corridor nice and quickly. And you don't need to, and even, you know, those games, I feel like there's more time just milling about killing 200 men between story beats than there needs to be. Whereas with The Drifter, it's like, you're not doing that because
story.
Exactly. So it's just like blast you down the story sort of funnel and just throw you into like deadly situations. And it's also the bit of a thing with novels you get a lot where it's like you give a bit of a cliffhanger and then before they've figured that out, give another worse cliffhanger and you're just constantly leapfrogging to the next situation kind of.
I love that. That sounds really fun. How did you come up with this story?
Dave is the writer and
Dave.
Yeah, he's the main character looks a lot like Dave, so
funny that.
Recognize that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I mean, we just like horror stuff, and the adventure game kind of area is just so full of people who loved Monkey Island and are less good at writing comedy than Tim Schafer, and who are doing like, and so just like, and we love comedy, but we just like, we don't have anything to add to that comedy thing. Like it's been done.
We'll just leave Monkey Island over there.
Exactly. Like we don't want to be in the shadow of something else. We're like, so what can we do that's new, that's a bit different? And we're like, we just want schlocky, like thriller, tech, thriller.
It's pretty fun, actually. Even they've got this great mechanic, which is like a wheel thing for the console, yeah?
Yeah, well, so that's the other thing is that because we want it to be playable on controller, and like already with a mouse for a point and click, you're kind of one step removed from direct control. But then if you're using a controller to control a mouse, to click, you're kind of two steps like back control.
Like taking out a little bit of the experience.
So we need direct control of the player.
It's very clever.
And to somehow solve that issue of how do you make one of those point and click games play nicely on a controller, but because it's so like so much faster, you're always dealing with far fewer inventory items and things like that, and so we're able to keep those numbers low enough that it's not, we don't bump into the edges of the controller nearly as much.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I did play it yesterday. I think it was yesterday. The days blur together. But I did play it, and it's relatively easy once you get used to the idea of it.
Yeah. Like, I prefer playing it like that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, cool. How did you come up with the art style for it? Like, I mean, it's lovely and pixelated.
We just want noir. I wanted noir. I wanted, like, firstly, I wanted to do more colours in this game. Like, my natural instinct is to do more subdued colours, like, force myself to do bright colours. and then just like do that cheesy like noir thing where like every scene's at night and lit by like a spotlight with like crazy shadows cast.
Makes it so moody.
Exactly. So that was the goal, is just like get to do big, bright coloured, moody lighting with crazy shadows cast up walls, and like make things non-diegetic, where it's like, you know, blues and like bright pinks that wouldn't really be the colour of the scene, just to make them exciting. So,
I like that. That sounds good. Can you give us like a rundown on the story, like just a synopsis, if you will?
well, so I can give you a rundown on the start of the story is you're homeless, you're down on your luck, you're struggling, you've hopped a train car, and you with another guy there, and then he gets shot, and then you're thrown out of the train car, and that's kind of
Dun dun dun.
straight into you know, a little bit of messing around, and then you're thrown into a river tied to a cinder block with a bag over your head.
I didn't get to that bit. Holy moly.
That's basically the tone, and it continues like that, and it's just enjoying a lot of the kind of tropes of those B thriller sort of type movies, and you know, like a bit of flavour of Stephen King, a bit of Michael Crichton. There's some tech thriller stuff. There's some. So one of the things Cronenberg, absolutely. One of the things we always like in our games is like dying and respawning is always a weird non-thing that you just pretend that didn't happen. And so we always like to, if we can, make that part of the game. And so
If you're dead, you're dead, or
not in real life.
okay. Well, I hope not. Oh my gosh, that's a different element to the game.
Yes, the character dying is part of the story, and I won't ruin it by explaining the details, but like you die and then you come back and you're trying to figure out, why did I die and come back? Instead of telling the player, oh, you didn't really die, just pretend that didn't happen.
That sounds really interesting. I am color me intrigued, my friends. When can we expect it to be out?
In about a year. Yeah.
Ah,
Fingers crossed.
Very about.
Yeah.
Word about.
Yeah. Like if you look at the Excel document, you could convince yourself it will be within the year, but when you're actually maybe doing the art, a bit longer.
okay. Well, I mean, if you keep the high standard up, like it's gonna look great when it's
Cheers.
finished. So I think it'll be worth the wait.
Thanks.
Yeah, we are big like retro point and click adventure fans, so we can't wait for it to come out and
Yeah.
play it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for talking to me, guys. It's been very entertaining.
Cheers.
All right, have a great day. See you. Currently, Drifter is still TBA on the release date, but there's a short and very immersive demo available now on Steam. Go wishlist it and follow for updates, but in the meantime, you should definitely go play that demo. That's it, everyone. Have a wonderful day. I will talk to you all very soon.